Shalom, shalom, family. It has been a long time um, since I've made any content, but I'm gonna start with saying that I'm grateful to be here. Um, it's been a lot going on, not just in the world, but in my personal life. Just out here doing the work and watching and praying and trusting in the Most High. This walk is truly not for the faint of heart. Um, but it's necessary, and we've been called to do this work as the chosen people of Yah. And so, as everybody know, the world is observing um, Thanksgiving today, and um, it's been a journey and a joy to enlighten other people about just on them saying happy Thanksgiving and you telling them that you don't observe the day, or it's an opportunity to enlighten somebody who hasn't had their spiritual awakening or is wondering, who's heard about it and is wondering, what is it all about? And I was able to have a conversation with a few people about it again this year. And on the flip side of this, my family, my biological, my earthly family, um, they still don't want to, well, some of them still don't want to accept the fact that this day is not biblical. We are not to observe these man-made pagan holidays. And they're still giving me grief about it after 3 years now. So I got a real my grandmother calls me every year since I've been in the truth, um, around this time to, and for we wrestle not against flesh and blood, but against spirits, principalities. And it's the spirit behind, it's the spirit in my grandmother that moves around this time, just stirring up stuff, already knowing. And so this year I knew it was coming. She called me for 3 days straight. I wasn't gonna answer the phone, but I finally did. And it was the same conversation. Why don't you wanna give God thanks on it? Is nothing biblical about that. I tell her this every year. And so at the end of the conversation, well, she said, again, every year I respect, everybody's decision and this and that and this and that. But I'm gonna tell you happy Thanksgiving anyway. Right? So I hung up the phone because I have that right to do that. Yes, you are my elder. Yes, I respect you until you respect what I believe, and you're not disrespecting me, you're disrespecting the Most High. And that's what you fail to realize. So yes, I hung up, and of course I got a nasty voicemail talking about how I'm a child and I'm disrespectful. This, that, and the third. It went on and on. But I do not care, family. The word says, if you love father and mother, anybody, child, if you put any of them before me and my commandments and what I commanded you to do, then you are not worthy of me. Right? And I believe that with my whole heart. And so I don't even take offense anymore to the reaction that I get because of my walk with the Most High. I don't even take offense to it anymore because I understand now. Being back at work, I guess this is just kind of like an update of what's been going on. I haven't been feeling like doing these videos. Hadn't really been inspired lately, but in my downtime, I'm getting these new subscribers. So it's like it's time to get back to the work, right? So, but I've been in out there dealing with, working again because I was out of work. I was home for a long time, for a couple of years. And so dealing with these spirits, y'all, it has been tiring, but it has been so amazing that it brings tears to my eyes just to even this is the joy of being on the winning team, the joy of knowing that you're covered and you're protected no matter what spirit that you have to face, right? And just like we have our spiritual family assigned to us, our angels, you know what I'm saying? Our galactic family that is watching over us and with us and guiding us by the power of the Holy Spirit. We also have these demonic entities that are assigned to us as well. And I have been dealing with that on a very, very high level, right? To the point where I've seen foaming at the mouth coming from these beings, just like really, really weird, negative, low energy. And it doesn't even matter where I go. Like wherever I go, I'm dealing with this, and I know I'm not the only one, because this is what we've been called to do. It's a spiritual war. It's a spiritual battle, and that's why we have to keep the full armor of the Most High on, because our weapons are not carnal, but things have gotten physical. Things are play themselves out in the physical that's going on in the spiritual world sometimes, y'all. And I've dealt with that. I thank the Most High for his protection, right? Um, I didn't really know what I was going to say or where I was going to go. It's just I needed to check in, right? Um, I guess I'll give some more personal testimonies because it's been so much since I made my last video. But I'm just grateful to be here, family. Grateful to be um still in my right mind. And it just feels good to know that I'm on the winning team. Excuse me, family. Okay. So I've been back in the Third Testament, and I just wanted to bring this out. It's not going to be a long video. Um, it was just time, to get back in the swing of things. And I'm going to read from teaching number 93 of the Third Testament. Your blindness has been illuminated with the light of your conscience, which always inspires in you prayer, charity, and amendment. You have arrived before my presence, and my word has been as a luminous and saving guiding light that illuminated your path. From the instant you have understood that this light can only sprout from me, and you have told me, Lord, you are whom I have always waited for. Now I know that I loved you and I needed you, Master. Yes, disciples, here you have me helping you to take the first steps into the path of ascension. And that's what this thing is all about, ascension, right? Until leaving you prepared as true disciples of my teaching and of my revelations, in order to send you later to regions and nations to spread this faith. The struggle will be in the midst of the time of sin, calamities, and pains, and you will not have any resources other than those of your spirituality, nor any weapons other than the truth. I have chosen you, poor, clumsy, and humble, as soil without cultivation, though perpetuous, to be fecundated and to receive the spiritual seed. I have not come in search of philosophers, theologians, or scientists, but instead of the humble people that have always waited for me and responded to my call in order to restore their spirits, the forgotten or ill employed heritage, right? Our praises be unto Yah. In this time, I have not been born to the world as man. I have arrived to you in the light of my spirit, made human word, and through this, I give you my essence to heighten the faith in your heart. See, people are still not in the spirit. They think that they are, but they're still waiting for a physical manifestation, not understanding that this is the era that the Most High said that his spirit is going to reign, is going to rule, right? And I thought about this, like in the Christian church or whatever, how like the Christians, I'm gonna just speak from where I come from. The Christians where I come from, right? They can sing he rose, he rose, he rose all day long, right? But still tell you that the Most High is not here yet. That the Messiah is not here yet. Not knowing that his spirit is sweeping the whole earth. He rose, and he rose with his spirit in those of us that are choosing to follow him, right? Oh, did I lose my place? No. Humanity has not been able to penetrate to the bottom of the revelations of the first two eras, but in this, the third, my word will make you understand, interpret, and practice my previous teachings, uniting them to the present ones. In this time, I have not been born to the world as man. I have arrived to you in the light of my spirit, made human word. And through this, I give you my essence to heighten the faith in your heart. The hearts of the shepherds, which in different sects and religions should teach the spiritual science, which is greatness and wealth for the spirit, have closed. Family, I have seen that the law and doctrines that I bequeath to humanity in past eras are kept hidden and have been substituted by rituals, exterior cults, and traditions. And they still won't come up out of it. They still say that we are wrong for not following the way of the traditions, right? We done broke free. And they have a serious problem with that, right? But you that recognize intimately that the essence of this word is the same that the children of Israel received in Mount Sinai, and the one that the multitudes heard from the lips of Jesus in the second era will be those who, with your worship and your deeds, shall teach that the divine law should not be forgotten to comply with fatuous traditions that do not benefit the spirit. The new generations will no longer hear me under the form that you now witness, because the term pointed out by me in which I will cease to manifest in this manner is near. Listen to this. It will be in 1950. Until the last day of that year, I will give you my word in this form. I will speak to you untiringly. I will encourage you, and my sweet voice full of essence and light will come as a torrent upon my children, right? Those that listen to me until the end. This was in us all this time, y'all. Even when we were in the churches, being dragged to the church in these different religions and cults and practices and traditions, the Spirit of the Most High was always, he rose already. He was in us. The Spirit of the Most High was in us. That's why we were always different. That's why we always knew something wasn't right and some things were missing. And that's why we are here today as believers and followers of the Messiah. What will become of these people if, while some struggle for spirituality, others will be numbed in old and retarded practices and useless traditions? You will fight united so that you don't weaken in the journey, and you will be watchful so that you listen clearly to the voice of the conscience. Live alert so that you do not become weak creatures, but strong spirits instead. Guide your steps through the path of charity, of love, and justice. Do not deprive yourselves of what I have prepared for your healthy bodily recreation. I also say to you not to torment your spirit, denying that what belongs to it. Thus, both body and spirit get to form a single will. So the conscience, which is my divine light, watches over them. I do not want the world to wrap you in its materialism and snatch the grace that I have entrusted you, because you would then return to the life of misery and pain from which I have rescued you. Y'all, I don't want to go back. I don't want to go back to that life that I had before I started walking in this truth. I don't want to. And nothing you can do or say will make or offer me will make me do that, right? And of course, we're being pulled now. The enemy is steady trying to pull us back there. I'm not going back. Few are the men that know the signs that a new era has begun. Few are the men that know the signs that a new era has begun. And I am manifesting myself spiritually to humanity in their vast majority. They consecrate their life and efforts to the material progress. And in that death and sometimes bloody struggle to reach their objective, they walk as the blind. They lose the course. They don't know what it is that they are pursuing. They have been unable to see the clarity of the new dawn. They don't perceive the signs, and they are very far from reaching the knowledge of my revelations. Far from me. They are far from me. I don't care who it is. Mama, grandma, sister, brother, uncle, spouse, child, whatever the case may be. And they are choosing this. We are in front of them. All the knowledge is here, and they are still choosing to walk the other way, right? So I don't feel bad about not being around them. I don't feel bad about hanging up in your face when I'm telling you as polite as I can, don't come at me like that. I don't believe that way. I'm respecting your beliefs. I don't come in your churches telling you this is the wrong way. The only time I speak about anything is when you ask me. And then when I give you an answer, you're upset. Right? We don't have time for that, family. This humanity has believed more in the doctrines and the words of men than in the revelations that I have granted them through the errors. Do you expect the Father in his justice to send you greater signs than those that you contemplate at every step, so you can feel and believe that this is the time predicated for my manifestation as spirit of truth? That's powerful. Oh, men of little faith, oh, ye of little faith. Now you will understand, disciples, why sometimes I tell you that my voice clamors in the desert, because other than my people, there is no one else to truly listen and pay attention to it. Wow. Don't want the rocks to cry out for me. Do you hear me? Do not see as impossible your compliance during this struggle. Now I am anticipating to tell you that will not be you alone who will redeem this humanity, nor will it be you who will transform the life of the peoples. These works I shall do because they are superhuman. I only want you to fulfill the mission that corresponds to you, and let the new generations take my seed beyond where you have been able to reach. Can you imagine the joy of the one who returns to the spiritual life, having fulfilled in earth the mission that his Father has assigned him? Well done, my good and faithful servant. His satisfaction and his peace are infinitely greater than all the satisfactions that in human life the spirit gathers, and it is, oh, the peace. I quickly respond when I listen to your cries, and he does, hallelujah, for help when you struggle as shipwrecks against the wild waves of the sea of passions in which humanity at this time navigates. Your prayer reaches me, and my charity extends similar to a rope of peace, just as it did in another time. When I navigated in the Sea of Galilee with my disciples, and the rough waves threatened to sink the boat, fearful, they asked me with anguish to save them because they were afraid to perish. And I showed them that he who is with me and trusts me shall never perish. Hallelujah. All praises be unto the Most High. When I read this, family, I had to praise dance. Do you hear me? He said, the boat in this era is my work. The sea is life. The tempest corresponds to the passions, the vicissitudes, the ordeals. Blessed is the one that is inside this boat when the tempest strike, because he will be saved. Cross the sea and go with absolute faith, seeking the shore, knowing that the perfect peace is in it. Who will be able to get lost in this voyage when navigating guided by the compass of the conscience? At the time in which Israel crossed the desert in search of the promised land, it was the tribe of Levi that taught the people true worship and reminded and helped them to understand the divine law. when the tribes were already established in the land and they had conquered with their faith and perseverance, the tribe of Levi continued to watch after the law. But times have passed. The spirit of man has evolved, and the divine seed that was entrusted to Israel reached many peoples, and now it is disseminated within humanity. These people have resurged, full of light over all the nations of the earth, to receive in their spirit the new revelations that they shall take to the nations. See how now it is no longer only the tribe of Levi in charge of watching after the divine law, but instead a multitude of spirits with whom will be united, all of those that awaken, yearning to be part of the people of God. All those of you that yearn to be a part of those people, penetrate in your interior, saturate yourselves with faith so that you keep strong in the struggle and you become worthy to be named Israel by me. Like in the first era, when I named Jacob strong for righteousness, for love, for forgiveness, strong in the zeal and in the virtue, strong against sin, pain, slander, or misery. Strong, family. As we continue to take on the characteristics of the Father, of Christ, we become strong in all these things. I ain't holding no grudges with nobody. I ain't mad with nobody. But forgiveness don't have nothing to do with keep being in the presence of these people and letting them corrupt your spirit, and that's not the fruits of forgiveness, right? The fruits of forgiveness is peace. That's what it's for. Peace, and I'm gonna leave you over there to deal with your mess just like I had to deal with my own. I will give you occasion to work, bringing closer the orphan, the widow, the one that has fallen in the struggle, those beaten by vice, the hungry for light, and the thirsty for truth. I'm dealing with all that everywhere I go, right? And that light is attracting the negative and the positive, those who hate it and those who want to know more about it, right? They want to know why you walk the way you do. They want to know why you are so bold, right? Bold and courageous and confident, yet still humble. How do you manage that? Nobody but the Spirit of Christ. Nothing but the Spirit of Christ, right? Higher self, as others might call it. It's so many different, people get all caught up in all of that. Do not attribute to chance the cases that you will encounter at each step. Think that it is your teacher, the one who calls at the doors of your heart. Certainly, I tell you that you are in the time for your spirit to justify through charity his existence in the earth. They're going to, we were put here. We were sent here to lead the way by faith through Christ. My doctrine will destroy the seed of selfishness, thus giving your spirit an endless field in which you can fulfill your mission to love. We even correct in love. Even in our boldness, it's in love, right? And I was talking to one of my cousins, and it's funny that before both of us came into the truth, like we actually had a physical altercation. And now it's like we're both having to deal with the family being upset about us wanting to walk in truth. And it's funny how things just come back like that. Um, but yeah, we were talking about this. I totally lost that point, but anyway, I'll probably get back to it. But it's been a blessing to be reconnected with her in this light, in this walk, and in this truth. It has really been a blessing. And those are those moments where you don't feel so alone in the walk, right? It's like, wow, it's a beautiful thing. Day after day, I shall give signs to humanity so that it wakes up. I will speak to some in their prayer, others I will prepare with intuition so that they perceive my voice. To those that live far from spirituality, I will give them revealing prophetic dreams, and to the ones materialized, I will speak through the elements of nature, since these only believe in what they see or in what they can prove with their science. Ain't that popping off right now? Right? All this stuff, the physical signs are here for those that just have to see something. It has to be something tangible. My God. But if they, in spite of those voices, remain asleep or deaf, I will make them feel my power and my justice, which they have challenged for so long. The Most High ain't playing, y'all. Don't worry about them ones that's tripping with you for like walking in the truth, because they gonna feel it. They've created their own world, and what's gonna happen in it, and they manifested it for themselves, and it's nothing that we have to do. He said we're gonna be able to see, to see the misery, to see them walking blind, walking dead. It's happening right now. I speak to you of justice, because the time and that my sickle comes to reap the harvest in season has arrived. I will gather the fruits that good has given, the golden wheat that love has rendered. All the rest shall be exterminated. The fruits of sin and the bad wheat of selfishness, of hate and pride will fall, taken down by the relentless edge of the sickle of my justice, right? And he's doing this through us, through the light that he has given us. And it's funny because my boo the other day, yesterday as a matter of fact, like, he's able to see how I deal like with people. And he made a comment yesterday. It's like the way that people back down once you, because I'm never disrespectful until I'm disrespected. And even in my disrespectfulness, it's like you knew I did it because I needed to do it. I don't bother nobody, right? But there is a way that you talk to people. There's a way that you connect with people. And you only obtain the right way by following the Messiah. By following, he taught us. He teaches us all the time how to deal with people. Some people have to be ignored completely for them to like get the hint, like, no, we're not doing that. I come on time to reap. Remember that in that era, I told you that the harvest should not be reaped before time, but rather the wheat and the weed should be allowed to grow together to reach its maturity and be reaped thereafter. Is this not what I'm doing now? See how my works of today confirm my teaching of the second era. It's happening right now. That's what we were talking about, my cousin. The wheat and the tares, the wheat and the tares. I've been saying it for the last 3 years. And it's been going on. But as we know, something happened. The veil was lifted and we could see a lot better. You know, we always had that spark. Oh, but now it's we lit, right? And it's a blessing. Really is. I am speaking to you through the mind of a spokesman whose understanding I have illuminated, and I have put words of wisdom in his lips, so that the people receive this message as sustenance for its spirit. I see you amazed before this manifestation, for what I quicken to tell you, that although being this admirable, it is still not the last lesson that I shall give you, nor is it the highest expression in my communication with men. Take this manifestation only as a page of the book of the spiritual wisdom that is a promise of the new revelations that I shall give you. The book is before your consciousness. It is my wisdom, and that book sheds torrents of light that bathe your being, We are bathed in the light. Hallelujah. I have always come looking for you because your spirit, once embodied, has taken diverse roads on which most of the times it has gotten lost. O weak creatures, that I have fallen on your own account, and later you have put the blame on me, saying that the path of the children of God is filled with temptations. I say to you that where you believe to have seen many roads, you should have taken one only, the one that leads to me. That where you saw temptations, there were only fruits that should be taken with knowledge and respect. Can you conceive that your father had created something that had the purpose of tempting you to sin? I'm going to stop right there, family. The wisdom, right, that comes with this walk, the wisdom, the knowledge that comes with this truth can't even be expressed in words. I always talk about the peace, right? But the wisdom, the change, the internal change that comes with this cannot be put into words. I am amazed every day at the interactions, the encounters, just everything, right? And even dealing with the narcissistic Jezebel, that spirit, I like at first being former grade A supply was funny to me, right? It was, I mean, it's still kind of funny sometimes, but now it's annoying. Like it's really, really exhausting because these things never go away. They're always coming in different, it'd be the same old ones, but they are losing, and we can see that they are losing this battle, right? But it gets annoying. But they are feeling the absence of your presence. Keep going, family. Keep going. Don't look back. This is an amazing journey. And I am so blessed. I tell people all the time, blessed and lucky to be, because I could have been on the other side, right? Take your mission seriously. Although I don't do as many videos as I probably should, and probably all that, I'm still out here doing the work. I'm still on the battlefield. Um, and it's hands on, and I'm loving it. Right? I'm loving being able to be used as a vessel of the Most High for the uplifting of His kingdom, because it's coming whether they like it or not. You know. Shout out to whoever just came on. I just was checking in. I'm sure I'll be back with some more real soon, because it's getting intense, family. It's getting real intense. And we have to stay grounded in the word of the Most High. We have to stay watchful, prayerful, and remain humble. Because sometimes it gets, you got to go there, right? But you still do it in meekness, but bold. Bold. And it's time to be very bold, family. So, shalom, peace, and blessings. And I will see y'all again real soon.